And the Oscar goes to Spotlight.
It's a tough movie.
Yeah.
It's a tough movie to react to, because it's a human experience. Hey guys, we're nice. I'm Ray.
I'm Julien.
And we are here reacting to another movie.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, it's a good one. It came out, I won't say within the last 10 years. This movie came out,
Okay.
maybe even less than 10 years. But it is star-studded. This is Michael Keaton's in this movie.
Okay.
Batman. From Batman, Rachel McAdams.
Ooh.
We have the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, and a bunch of other people here. And this movie, this is a true story. This is about a newspaper in Boston, I believe, who seem to they're investigative journalists. It was like a small section of this newspaper that these people had complete autonomy of what they wrote in investigations.
That's pretty cool.
And I believe they're the ones who break the story in Boston at the time of the Catholic Church doing their abuses towards young children, and then this is how they broke the story. So how the newspaper broke the story. So hitting up the drama world. Earlier we hit 12 Angry Men, and we're gonna top it off with watching Spotlight. I've seen this movie once, and I really did enjoy it because it's just really good.
Okay.
And you never seen it?
Nope.
To be honest with you, but this is a while back. I saw it when it came out. Like I saw it at the theater.
Oh wow.
So it's been a while since I've seen it. So I'm looking forward to watching this all over again and revisiting the story itself. So this is Spotlight. This was, I want to say it was 2015. I think this movie came out. Anyway, Spotlight, true story. Let's see what we got here.
Bunch of Marvel actors in it.
Before Marvel was big.
Yes.
Participant media.
There's like no studio I've recognized so far, which is great, honestly.
Well, this is more like an indie type flick.
Oh. Even better.
And what I do like, I think that this shows how good an actor Michael Keaton is, first of all.
Absolutely.
And especially Mark Ruffalo. Like, people know him for the Incredible Hulk, but Mark Ruffalo is an amazing actor.
He really is. I've seen him in so many things. I think most notably right now for me was the one where he plays with Reese Witherspoon, and Reese Witherspoon's a ghost, and she's in a coma. It was things like Roommate or something like that, but it was such a good rom-com.
This is 1976, Boston, Massachusetts.
She's not married?
Divorced with 4 kids. I guess father was helping out.
Helping out?
Hey, Mr. Burke, they're in back talking to the bishop.
And father?
We put him in the break room.
Any press?
Some guy from the Citizen, but we sent him away. None of the big papers.
Let's keep it that way. Who's that?
Assistant DA.
It's gonna be hard to keep the papers away from the arraignment.
What arraignment?
What's an arraignment?
This is him, going to the court.
Oh.
You know what good work the church does in the community. I give you my personal guarantee that I'm going to take Father out of the parish, and this will never happen again.
This is creepy. So the bishop was saying, I'm going to move him out of the church. This will never happen again. And that's it.
Wow.
Now, Stuart, I find the timing of your departure disconcerting. The corner office sits empty. The new editor arrives on Monday. I gotta ask you, what the hell do you know?
No, I'm not asking if the PD's lying. I know they're lying. All I'm asking, who's behind it?
Hey, Mark Ruffalo.
There he goes.
It's weird not seeing him with the scruff.
No, Dan, I'm not mad. I'm hungry. I've been talking to you so long, I didn't eat lunch. So I'm gonna go get something to eat, and that'll give you an hour to decide whether you want to be on the right side of this or read about it like everybody else. I just don't think the story's for us.
Ben likes it?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not Spotlight.
What's just not Spotlight?
Hey, Robbie, new boss coming in to make some cuts?
I have no idea.
So this is happening at a time when the newspapers were dying out
Right.
because people were going digital.
So what year is this? Like 2001?
The story took place with the other one. Hey,
Curse of the Bambino.
Sabretooth, right?
Yeah. He's actually why I started growing out my nails.
So you're originally from Boston?
I am, born and raised, yeah. A lot of the newsroom is from here. Really feels like a local paper in that way.
And did that change at all after the paper was sold to the Times?
Are you familiar with Spotlight?
No, not particularly.
Well, we are a four-person investigative team. We report to Ben Bradley Jr., and we keep our work confidential.
What are you working on now?
We just put out a piece on a shoddy construction outfit.
I thought he was going to be like, it's confidential.
That's what I thought too.
So, you anticipate more cuts?
I think it's safe to assume so. What I'm more focused on right now is finding a way to make this paper essential to its readers.
I like to think it already is.
So you're facing the chopping block.
Yeah.
Did everyone read Eileen McNamara's column this weekend? What's the follow on that?
It's a column. What kind of follower are you thinking?
The Boston priest abused 80 kids. We have a lawyer who says he can prove Law knew about it, and we've written all of 2 stories in the last 6 months.
It's like a whole string of kids being molested.
Yeah.
I need to tell you guys this. We need to be more discreet than usual, all right? Everybody's going to be interested in this, not just the Herald. We can't let Cardinal Law get wind of this till we know what we have. Good luck with that.
And the problem they're facing is that Boston is mostly a Catholic town.
Yeah.
So getting anybody in power to reveal, open, unseal documents and all that stuff is...
You gonna tell her?
We don't even know if there's a story yet.
Well, if Globe sues church, there's gonna be a story.
Yeah, because this became national news. Like this blew up.
It's heavy stuff. It's heavy.
It's no easy topic to deal with.
Especially with like how many followers to the church there are. So even your close acquaintances could be against you. And any of your close
anything related to that. And you got people probably in power who don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
You think it's that important?
Yes, I do.
Because obviously the church will fight us very hard on this, which won't go unnoticed by our subscriber base. 53% of them are Catholic.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll be interested.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't you want to know? But your kids are exposed to this?
Mm-hmm. Can I help you?
Oh, hi. I'm Mike Resendiz from the Boston Globe. I'm here to see Mitchell Garabedian.
He's on a call. Please have a seat.
Okay.
I can see how this is also nerve-wracking. You're a reporter.
Yeah, like look at Rachel McAdams' character, whose family is Roman Catholic, and she's about to go sue him practically.
Yeah. This is what you need to understand. These are shitty cases. Statute of limitations is only 3 years, and most of these victims don't come forward till long after that.
Why is that?
Well, they're kids, you know. Guilt, shame. And most of these kids come from tough neighborhoods. Nobody wants to admit this kind of thing. So even if you argue your way around that, the charitable immunity statute caps damages at 20 grand.
20 grand?
For molesting a child?
That is the way the system is set up, yes.
That's crazy.
That's pretty crappy.
My guess is he doesn't have anything on law.
What, you think he's bluffing, or?
I think he's grandstanding to cut a better deal.
Seems a bit reckless.
Have you met Mitch Garabedian?
I didn't ask you to fire.
Just walking down that.
I'll just go in there.
Yeah. But there you go.
Yep.
Sometimes you gotta, Push the envelope.
Hi,
Who are you?
I'm Mike Resendez from the Boston Globe. I had an appointment with you about an hour ago.
I can't talk to you. I'm very busy. Sharon?
No, she went out for coffee. She said she'd be right back. I'm actually following up on a column that Eileen McNamara wrote about your suit.
Suits. There are 84 of them. It's not a class action. You should get your facts straight.
No, you're right, I should.
Did you know that they tried to bring me up before the Massachusetts Board of Bar Overseers 3 times? They're watching me very closely.
The church?
Yeah, the church.
If we cover this story, everybody will hear about it.
The church thinks in centuries, Mr. Resendez. Do you think your paper has the resources to take that on?
Yeah, I do. But if you don't mind me asking, do you?
Ow, that actually hurt. Hit my ring.
Can I at least talk to some of your clients, victims? I'd really like to do that.
Call me tomorrow. I got to think about it.
Yep. Thanks.
Yep.
Listen, there's no denying that the Catholic Church is a very powerful organization.
Well, yeah, it spans over
Centuries. More than decades.
More. I'm trying to think like thousands of years. Like I don't know what the 1,000-year would.
Maybe. I mean, they're around the Roman times.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think like the Latin for 1,000.
Millennia.
There you go.
This had to take a lot of courage from people to write about it, but even the victims, if they just come up to speak.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
it's something that's definitely hard to talk about, especially to people.
Hey guys, I think I got another priest. Liam Barrett molested some kids in Philly and was moved to Boston, did the same thing and was moved again.
Really?
The church settled the case.
Where are you on Garabedian?
I'm working on it.
Robbie says McLeish thinks he's bluffing.
I think there's something there, Ben.
Get me something solid or I'm taking you off it.
That's how big it is.
So the new editor at the Globe is an unmarried man of the Jewish faith who hates baseball.
Hey, by the way, I've been reading about this priest, Father Barrett. Said you were involved with that.
Barrett, yeah. Bad egg. Lake Street asked for help. I pitched in.
After the cop we saw from '76.
I think so.
This related to a lawsuit?
You know about that?
Mm-hmm. That's going around. So he established the fact that he's a single Jewish man.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you here today? Going over these clips of Saviano.
Yeah. Ben and Steve think it's a dead end. They gave me a bunch of crap about it at the game.
Yeah, Ben emailed me.
He did?
Yeah. He said we should let it go.
What do you want to do?
I want to bring Saviano in.
So, just ignore those guys?
I think we got to start ignoring everybody on this one.
Yep.
Unless he's wrong.
Oof.
But that's their job to find out. I mean, 80 victims the lawyer has. They have newspapers coverage of this a couple times.
Yeah, but nothing like large enough that anybody's picked it up and learned about it.
But if I can be of any help, Marty, don't hesitate to ask. I find that this city flourishes when its great institutions work together.
Thank you. Personally, I'm of the opinion that for a paper to best perform its function, it really needs to stand alone.
Little gift, Marty. Think of it as a cardinal's guide to the city of Boston.
It's not Catholicism. That's something else. What did I say?
Catechism. It's
Catechism.
Sunday school. Basically.
Yeah, catechism.
That be seen as a threat. Like he's saying that, like, convert, because most of the city is already Catholic.
Could be.
And stand down.
That could be a very passive aggressive threat.
Yeah.
I was 11, and I was preyed upon by Father David Hawley in Worcester. And I don't mean prayed for, I mean preyed upon. When you're a poor kid from a poor family, religion counts for a lot. And when a priest pays attention to you, it's a big deal. He asks you to collect the hymnals or take out the trash, you feel special. It's like God asking for help. And so maybe it's a little weird when he tells you a dirty joke, But now you got a secret together. So you go along. Then he shows you a porno mag. And you go along. And you go along. And you go along until one day he asks you to jerk him off or give him a blowjob. And so you go along with that too because you feel trapped because he has groomed you.
That's a doozy.
You guys got to understand. This is big. This is not just Boston. This is a whole country. It's a whole world. I know of 13 right here in Boston.
You know 13 priests in Boston who have molested children.
Yeah, why do you keep repeating everything I say?
I just like to clarify things.
Maybe you should have clarified it 5 years ago when I sent you all of this stuff.
Dude, but they listen to you now. Better late than never.
Yeah.
He's angry. I mean, hey, listen, you can't blame the
He's
guy.
understandably angry.
Yeah.
Well, the guy's got an agenda, that's for sure. You
I mean, he's obviously been through a lot, but he's smart. And if he's right about 13 priests.
Yeah, it might be a big if for this guy. Do a background check on him and follow up with some of the other survivors of his group.
I'll track down this ex-priest, Sipe.
Okay, but stay on Garabedian. That's more important.
Garabedian, what a pain in the ass.
Spotlight's on this?
Yeah, we're looking into it, but you gotta help me. You gotta let me talk to some of these victims, please. Please.
Spotlight got some weight to it, didn't they?
Come back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Should have just used the name in the first place if it was going to get him that.
But that was shot in the dark. He wasn't even sure that was going to happen.
That's true.
Are you gonna use my name?
No.
Not if you don't want me to, no.
I just had a kid, and he's only one, but I'm not sure I want him to know about this.
Sure, I get that.
That's gotta suck. It's gotta suck so bad. You got this history hanging over your head, and no justice for it.
How old were you when it happened?
I was 12. Just after my dad killed himself.
When did you first meet Kagan?
Well, my sister, she saw him over in the Dunkin' Donuts, tells him about my old man passing, and he rushed right over.
And there was this nun, Sister Barbara, and she ran this group for kids from troubled families.
Where was that?
It's a pattern. Troubled kids.
Kagan shows up, and my mom, you know, she's thrilled. And this was like God showing up, you know?
Sure, right. So what happened then?
He starts patting my leg, and, you know, then his hand just slides right up, and he grabs my dick.
Oh. Dear Lord, bro.
So what happened after that?
Well, he took off his clothes, and he said, "I've been so depressed, but maybe you can cheer me up and give me a blowjob." Classic guy.
You see the pain that they're dealing with just going over this.
I'm sorry.
Poor guy.
Of course, there is a church right there. And a playground.
And a playground. I mean, these people have been holding this stuff for like 20, 30 years.
Use my name if you want.
Thanks, Patrick.
Don't thank me. Just get these assholes, will you?
He's one of the lucky ones. He's still alive.
Dear Lord.
It really messes you up. It really does. Living with it. Dealing with it. It's hard for kids.
I couldn't imagine, bro. But what's scary is the fact that there's a huge cover-up. You know, that goes.
That's the worst part of it.
That it's the newspapers and covering up, the cops, the.
Did you follow up with McLeish?
I just talked to Phil. He said McLeish dealt with a number of these cases.
Guess he forgot to mention that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the courthouse tomorrow, see if I can find any cases he settled against the church.
He probably got paid a lot by the church to keep it a simple settlement.
Yeah, I'm late for dinner. You want to walk me out?
Sure. Jeez.
He was the guy that got rid of the box, I bet you.
I bet.
Something's not right here.
Nothing on Shammy either, Sasha.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we need to go talk to McLeish again.
Really?
Why?
Huh? There's nothing here. No, there aren't any records. I checked everything.
No records.
Why aren't there any records? I was down at the courthouse earlier. There aren't any records of any of these settlements.
We dealt directly with the church. It's a private mediation.
So, this is just you and the Archdiocese lawyers in a room.
Correct.
Slick.
But clearly he settled cases against a number of them. Phil's put me in touch with some of the other victims. I'm pretty confident all of his priests are going to check out.
So it is 13 priests.
Yeah.
For now.
Holy shit. Okay, keep going.
All right, so he's becoming a believer? The Catholic Church has already got to be aware that these guys are investigating.
Well, of course, but they want to make sure to keep everything in the public, I'd assume.
This is the church you're talking about, Robbie. Look around. These are good people. Done a lot of good for this city. Enjoy the party.
Everybody's brainwashed by this.
So you believe the church is aware of the extent of this crisis?
Oh, absolutely. After the first major scandal in Louisiana, Tom
I almost became a priest. Like, I was genuinely thinking about becoming a priest.
What happened?
The celibacy.
It's a rule that should be changed.
Who saw that report? Anyone from the Catholic hierarchy?
Sure. Doyle tried to introduce the report at the National Conference of Catholic Bishops.
I mean, you can definitely see that being a problem because of the idea of celibacy. You know, like
Yeah.
that. I don't even understand why that's a rule. Like, you know, why? Why you let these guys get married?
Well, no, they're allowed to be married.
No, they're not. Deacons
Previously, if they've been
are. Oh yeah,
previously
before.
married.
But even before that, back in the day, they were able to be married, have a family, and then somewhere down the line, they just changed all that.
I didn't know that.
90. Wait. 90 priests.
Is that possible?
90 priests.
Yes. That would certainly be in line with my findings.
That's a lot.
But 90 priests messing around with kids.
90 fucking priests in Boston.
In Boston.
If there were 90 of these bastards, people would know.
Maybe they do.
And no one said a thing?
Good Germans.
I don't think that's a comparison you want to make publicly.
It does seem impossible to make it credible. You know?
Yeah.
And that's just Boston. It's not even talking about
Like the larger area.
where else.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
In his own neighborhood?
Maybe.
Dude, I'm walking distance away from the house?
Maybe. I just hope he doesn't do anything he's gonna regret.
No freaking way.
So wait a minute, a regular house? He has own kids.
Because that's the treatment center then.
Yeah.
Wow.
I need you to tell me something, Jim. Could it be 90 priests?
What?
Could it be as high as 90?
Jesus, Robbie.
I need to know, Jim. I wouldn't be asking if it wasn't important.
You gonna stop this, Robbie?
He knew.
Yeah, he covered up. He
cover up.
He was part of the cover up.
I can't talk to you about that.
Does that number sound right to you?
You gotta be kidding me. I just told you I don't have time for this crap right now.
How many priests did you settle?
Robbie, you know I can't tell you that.
You're going to give me the names and the names of their victims. Are you threatening me? We've got two stories here. We've got a story about degenerate clergy, and we've got a story about a bunch of lawyers turning child abuse into a cottage industry.
Oof.
Now, which story do you want us to write? Because we're writing one of them.
Oh.
I already sent you a list of names.
What are you talking about? To whom?
The Globe, years ago. After the Porter case, I got plenty of calls. I had 20 priests in Boston alone, but I couldn't go after them without the press. So I sent you guys a list of names, and you buried it.
So he was the good guy all along.
So the white hair guy at the Globe is probably the one burying it.
Yeah.
Or someone else. Remember the guy who keeps like looking back? What are you looking for?
We got 87 names. We're trying to get confirmation. I think we will. Something bugging you?
Yeah, it is. He's the one burying it.
But I don't think it was him fully. I think it was him under the orders of somebody else, like the former.
Yeah, but he's still covering up right now.
I think that's the bigger story.
Bigger than 50 priests.
If it came from the top down, yes.
The numbers clearly indicate that there were senior clergy involved.
That's all they do. Indicate.
Are you telling me that if we run a store with 50 pedophile priests in Boston...
Mike, we'll get into the same cat fight you got into on Porter, which made a lot of noise, but changed things not one bit.
He's right.
We need to focus on the institution.
Chop the head off the snake, not the end. This is insane how big of a thing it was.
How systematic it is.
Yeah.
It's a well-oiled machine. It's almost like a mafia in a way. You know, this.
I'm going with the narrative that Mike had with the good Germans.
We spoke to several men who knew you when they were boys at St. John the Baptist in Haverhill. They told us you molested them. Is that true?
Sure, I fooled around her, but I never felt gratified myself.
Right. But you admit to molesting boys at St. John the Baptist?
Yes, but as I said, I never got any pleasure from it. That's important to understand. I want to be clear. I never raped anyone. There's a difference. I should know.
How would you know?
I was raped.
I'm sorry. Who raped you?
Bonnie, who are you talking to?
Father
It's okay,
Father
Jane.
Peckman, who raped you?
Who are you?
Sasha Pfeiffer from the Globe.
Please
I was
get off
speak for
my
myself.
porch. Get inside the house, Ron.
Mr.
Get inside, Ron.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who are you?
I'm his sister, and I don't want you coming back here.
Miss Paquin.
What a breakthrough. Yeah, get off the lobby and they can shoot you for being there. He admitted it. But he's right next to a school. Like he's right next to a school.
Position for me, Mr. Albano.
Yes, Judge Sweeney.
And the judge is Catholic.
It's so hard because like everywhere, anywhere, is a Catholic.
Yeah. And these are men who probably did good for the community a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And they don't want to accept this fact that the church did something like this, or let alone a cover up.
Yeah.
He didn't try and hide it at all. He had this really odd rationalization for it, like it was totally normal to fool around with little boys. I'd really like to go back. I think he'd talk to us.
Oh, we will. Just not yet.
Well, that's nothing. He admitted it.
Yeah, straight out.
And so it makes you think that it was okay to do this. At least the priest thought this was okay to do that.
And so I could just walk into that courthouse right now and get those documents?
No, you cannot. Because the documents are not there.
But you just said they're public.
I know I did. But this is Boston. And the church does not want them to be found. So, they are not there.
They buried them.
Remove legal documents from that courthouse.
Look, I'm not crazy. I'm not paranoid. I'm experienced. Check the docket. You'll see. They control everything.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts and very powerful.
Another story where on the surface things are seems one way, but when you look at the little details, there are holes.
There's the tip of the iceberg, bro. This is the tip of the iceberg.
Nothing.
Gone.
So we can get them?
Yeah, but they're not there. Already talked to Albano. He said all we have to do is file a motion and Sweeney will order Mitch to refile the docs.
And you think these documents are...
He said these 14 docs are all we need. They're huge.
Okay.
You have to refile them.
What happened?
They're saying it's a prop plane, but that's not a prop plane.
Tell Linda to get every reporter we have in here now.
Hey, just quickly, did you refile those docs yet?
No, I just got the order. It takes time.
Okay, great. Can you hold off on refiling? I have to go to Florida. Once you refile, they're public. Other newspapers will be able to get a hold of them.
Other newspapers are not my concern.
Oh, hey, Mitch, please. All I need is a few more weeks.
I can't make any promises. Goodbye.
Mitch! Shit!
So now they're chasing the story of 9/11?
I mean, it's a bigger story at the moment.
Yeah.
If this story comes out now during 9/11, it'll be buried.
Yep.
We're not going away. We're going to tell this story. We're going to tell it right. We just need a little more time. That's all we're asking for.
Why bother asking? You're gonna do what you want anyway. You always do.
Phil.
I can listen. His frustration is understandable
Yeah.
because it's happened before. You know.
This is the gagging case?
That's right.
Those records are sealed.
No, that's a public motion. Those records are public. Look, I work for the Globe.
Good for you.
Can I talk to your supervisor?
He's not in today.
What about a judge? There must be judges that work on this kind of thing.
6th floor.
There's a block in every corner. That's crazy. It's like a bigger cover up than Watergate.
I'm Mike Rossetti's from the Boston Globe. I'm having some trouble accessing some public records down in the records room. I was wondering if I could have a word with you.
These exhibits you're after, Mr. Resendez, they're very sensitive records.
With all due respect, Your Honor, that's not the question. The records are public.
Maybe so. But tell me, where is the editorial responsibility in publishing records of this nature?
Well, where's the editorial responsibility in not publishing them?
That was a good reply.
We got them. You can't read these letters and think anything else. It's proof.
Yeah, it is. This is good work.
Should we take it up to Ben?
No, not yet.
Why not? We got law. This is it.
No, this is law covering for one priest. There's another 90 out there. No, I'm not going to rush the story, Mike.
We don't have a choice, Robbie. If we don't rush to print, somebody else is going to find these letters and butcher this story. Joe Quimby from the Herald was at the freaking courthouse. Why are we hesitating? Barrett told us to get...
I hope we get an award for this one. This was not good. Mark Ruffalo showing his acting chops here.
Yeah.
Felt the passion.
It's powerful. It got me ready.
Yeah, right. You know? Let's publish it. Let's go.
But at the same time, Michael Keaton's right.
He is right. It's not, you can't get one guy. It have to be the system.
You get one guy, it gets covered up.
But it is frustrating. I mean, I can sense the frustration. They got something, they can get somebody, but it's more than just somebody.
When we do run the story, I'm going to need a comment from the Cardinal.
We'll talk again later. Good night, Robbie.
Night, Pete.
Not scared. They got to do what they got to do.
Sweeney ruled in our favor. She ruled to unseal the documents.
To unseal the documents?
Church has already filed an appeal, but the trial court ruling is generally upheld in these matters.
And when would we get the documents?
I'd say they'd be made public Mid-January?
Look, I'm close to stories on 70 priests. We nail that along with those letters. This is proof that this is bigger than law. This is the whole system. I'm out of time, Jim. We're gonna cover up stories on 70 priests. But the boss isn't gonna run it unless I get confirmation from your side.
Are you out of your mind?
Come on. This is our town, Jimmy. Everybody knew something was going on, and no one did a thing.
Yeah, I helped defend these scumbags, but that's my job, Robbie. I was doing my job.
You and everyone else.
Mm-hmm. You gotta have some type of guilt on you.
Get out of my house. Hey, you come to my home and lay this shit on me? You were right, Robbie. We all knew something was going on. So where were you? What took you so long?
Was he burying it?
I don't know, Jim.
He was burying the story?
I don't think he was, but if he was, that was a huge turnaround.
All of them.
Larry, we're going to press in 6 hours.
Donna Morrissey said she'd call us with a quote from law hours ago.
That's what I thought.
When did you talk to her?
I would love to see their faces when they read this thing, man.
You know, Sunday is the Feast of the Epiphany. We also put the spotlight tip line at the end of the story so people can call in. It goes directly to our office.
Matt and I can go in the morning in case we get any calls.
All of you have done some very good reporting here. Reporting that I believe is going to have an immediate and considerable impact on our readers. For me, this kind of story is why we do this.
Poor grandma.
Sasha, can I have a drink of water?
Yeah.
Can I keep this?
Sure. I thought you should see it first.
Thank you for bringing it by.
He trapped her right at that door. The house is bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spotlight. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Can I?
The hotline?
Mm-hmm.
No, I understand it's difficult to talk about these issues.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry.
Send him over.
Spotlight, can I help you?
Phones have been ringing all morning.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Spotlight.
Mike, can you grab that?
Yeah.
They're almost all victims, Robbie. I'm sorry to make you wait.
Golly.
You too?
224.
This is Spotlight.
Well, 90 priests or 70 they got.
Mm-hmm. Of
Had to be a lot of people.
course.
Father Jim Parish was
Spotlight.
600 stories.
Wow.
Wow.
That is not okay.
Hmm.
Camden. Met him.
Other countries.
Mm-hmm.
bro. It's a tough movie.
Yeah.
It's a tough movie to react to, because you're not ooh and ahhing every 5 minutes. That makes it easy to react. However, it's a human experience, and we're reacting and looking at a very human experience and an abuse that affected many, many people. We were looking at 1,000 people in just Boston. We just saw a whole list of different places. I grew up Catholic. I believe you grew up Catholic as well.
I am Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic. And it's not that we're knocking down the Catholic Church.
Not at all.
But it's the fact that there was a cover up.
Yeah.
This was something that was been going on. According to this, the 60s, but it's probably been going on for a lot longer than that we may be aware of. And it makes the story hard to swallow because the amount of lives that were ruined.
Yeah.
That the lawyers are, this guy's one of the lucky guys. He's still alive. One of the guys, and you saw he had those needle marks.
The other one had the anxiety tendencies where he was like, oh, sorry. The kind of like victim mindset.
Yeah, the victim mindset. That victim mindset,
where he was just like always sorry and he was nervous.
And it's sad to see that something like this happen, and most likely still happening. Maybe not in the Catholic Church, but for sure, kids are victimized.
Yes.
What makes it hard to really it's sad to see that there was such a cover up, an indeed cover up. The shuffling around of these people.
Yeah.
The lawyers involved. There's money involved. The be quiet. The most a victim can get was 20,000, which probably was a lot for people back then. And even then, yeah. And maybe a lot of these parents that only imagine back then was like, if a kid told you this, the parents probably didn't even believe it.
Yeah.
And let alone you, like the guy said, I'm a guy. I'm not gonna tell people what happened to me. So that there's that.
Yeah.
That went on. So I remember eventually, I don't know if this is the main reason why this story blew up eventually, where it was known that the Catholic Church was indeed hiding stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a whole big runaround of going on, and people were losing faith about going to church and believing, and rightly so.
Yeah.
And rightly so. But it makes it hard to, to make a reaction. If anything, as we're watching this, as I'm watching this, and I don't know how you felt, I was getting angry.
Yeah.
I was getting pretty upset about what was going on, and really feeling bad for these people who went through what they went through. And even then, you see that it's still not safe. Before the story was published.
Yeah.
The guy was like, he found a house next to his house.
Yeah.
Put a sign up, stay away from this house over here.
And then the other,
Mark Ruffalo.
No, I'm talking about the priest that was like literally blocked down from the school.
Yeah, and
he was admitting to it.
He was admitting to it. Well, I didn't get any gratification out of
it.
I didn't get any gratification out of it. Like that part was important to him. Not the fact that there were victims involved, but me, I didn't get any gratification out of it. I didn't rape anybody. It's like, so he had a mindset, and makes you think that maybe they all had a mindset that this is okay.
Yeah.
And they probably felt that way, but for the fact that they were being forgiven, like they were just getting a pat in the wrist, and that was pretty much it. So was the story itself, being said, and it was again rough to watch this. I have to say that this was very well done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was almost like watching a documentary without it being a documentary. The acting was phenomenal. Really did love Mark Ruffalo. Really loved Michael Keaton. All of them. Rich McAdams. Every single one of them was top of their game for this movie.
Yeah.
And I kept admiring a movie like this. Like, this was not made to be a blockbuster movie. It's not a blockbuster movie.
Absolutely not.
This is a story that needs to be said, and shown and appreciated for what it is.
I definitely feel like what's taken over for newspapers is movies. The way that they tell their stories and make it more popularized makes you afterward want to go and research it yourself. And I feel like that's become what newspapers were. That way of spreading information, because news nowadays, a lot of it's not reliable, and a lot of people don't watch it anymore.
It's become a money. It's become it's about profits.
Exactly.
You know, and we have today where the newspapers are either, especially politically, they either skew left or skew right.
Yes.
You know, and it's hard to get any type of.
We're the house divided, as Lincoln
Well,
said.
absolutely, we're a house divided. You know, but when it comes to stories like this, though, it's scary how powerful the church was.
Yeah.
In this situation, how they were roots buried into Boston, where it was a cover up, and everybody was just hushed, like they were okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm wondering if it had to do with the payoffs. You know, here's some money, be quiet, whatever.
Well, I think
Because it wasn't settled in court; it was settled privately.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it was also kind of like the stigmatism of like, oh, you know, you were touched, but just keep it hush. You're okay. We're gonna keep going to church. God will cleanse it. Just don't tell anybody. And then, like, especially if you were a man, like even mentioning that, then it's like, oh, then you're gay, or oh, what happened to you wasn't really that bad. You're a man. You can suck it up.
Yeah, walk it off.
Yeah.
He eventually, Michael Keaton's character, had to guilt that lawyer at the end. Go to his house and say, we're going to run the story, but I need you to say something. You know, you knew, and that's where I was like, this guy knew too. Well, Michael Keaton knew too, and I wonder why he buried the story. Like, they didn't really go into details on why he even buried the story in Metro.
Yeah.
You know, but wow, what a fantastic movie! This is such a good movie. You know, it's people need to watch movies like this. It's not just about the special effects anymore. You know, I mean, at least
Not about a AAA studio.
It's not the AAA studio or anything like that. Remember, those are all enjoyable, but there are a lot of other movies out there, cinema, that people must watch.
It's just the same vaudeville stuff that you see in the movies. You really just go out and look at like an indie film that tells a good story. Because that's what we need nowadays, is good stories. And we need to be reminded of stories that happened in the past that we should always remember.
Yeah, especially stuff like this.
Yeah.
Well, this is something of major importance.
This and Watergate I could think of. I could think of like...
But there's a Watergate movie that came out
really?
in the 70s. It's called, I think it's called The President's Men.
Really?
I think that was Robert Redford and... Oh my God! Yeah.
I don't know.
Another good actor. I can't remember his name right now.
Not a good actor?
No, a very good actor.
Oh, I think you said not a good. I was like, what?
For those of you who know who I'm talking about, it came out in the 70s, I believe, or late 70s, maybe early.
Do you know
80s.
where he might have also been from?
What was that?
Where the good actor was also.
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, for Meet the Fockers.
Yeah,
Fockers. I said, not the you.
So I believe Robert Redford, Robert Redford, and Dustin Hoffman. You know, because they're both reporters. They're the two reporters that broke the case.
Yeah.
So you know, there are significantly important historical moments that should be recorded and mentioned.
Like the one, I think it was Tom Cruise about the Contras cover up in Nicaragua, where they were flying guns from the CIA to I think it was the rebels in Nicaragua, and what they were doing was they were taking those guns in Nicaragua, selling it to the Colombian cartel. It was a really great movie, and I do not remember the name. And it was all about this guy and how it went all the way to the White House with
You're talking about Bush's vice president at the time.
Was it that? No, I think it was no. It was in the 80s. It was in the 80s.
Okay.
I can't remember the name right now, but it was such a good movie, and I remember I was in the theater and all my family were asleep except for me. And afterward, I was like, "That's such a great movie," and they're like, "No, it wasn't. There was no action or anything." And I go, "You don't need action for a good movie."
No, you don't. Listen, I have friends and family members who, like, to them, the greatest movie in the world is Fast and Furious. You know, and that drives me insane. That drives me absolutely insane. Like, that's their greatest movie they've ever seen. You know, who look at Transformers and like, this is the greatest movie,
Well,
the
in all
top
fairness,
3 movie.
Some Transformers are really good.
Shut up.
Some of them are pretty good.
We just saw 12 Angry Men for crying out loud earlier.
Yeah,
we just saw Spotlight.
But listen, when Optimus Prime starts his speeches, let's be real here. You don't want to go and fight the Decepticons?
I don't want to say that your generation or people younger than you are lost. It's not true.
No.
You know, a lot of people like to look at Generation Z. People looked at us as a generation like when we were young as well. That, well, there's no hope for you guys. You know, there's no hope for people who are younger than us. That's not absolutely true. I think it's our job to show people.
Absolutely,
guiding it. There's more to it than just what you think.
Yeah.
You know, I have 2 daughters, and sometimes, you know, I have to put them on. If they're in a room, I'll put it on and then slowly
working it.
And they're working it and they're watching it. It's like I threw bait. You know, and they went out there and they bit onto what I was watching. They said, "Wow, this is actually pretty good."
It's because most of like the old baits don't work anymore. Like you see a poster of a movie and you're like, "Oh, that's fine, cool," or you see a trailer and it has you hyped at some certain points, and then you're like, "But am I really going to spend the money for that in the theater?" And then you just forget about it. And you don't remember that the movie's there.
It's hard to compete with the theater nowadays. It's hard to compete against television nowadays.
Yes,
because there's so much out there.
Yeah.
There's more. You have more choices on TV than you do in the movie theater.
Mhm.
And then the movie theater, I think the problem we have in the movie theater is the fact that they are all trying to become blockbusters. Like everything has to be a blockbuster.
Everything has to be a Marvel.
And because of that, people it's cheapened.
Yeah.
You know, very few movies that are out there that really people will go and check out. And I don't think they make that much money when they do come out and they're good movies. They'll get lost.
Yeah.
You know, people don't have the theater experience, and it's hard to do that because nowadays people got 80-inch TVs. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah,
have a great surround sound system. Like if you go to my house, you guys in my living room, the sound in my house is so beautiful. I love what I have.
Crisp.
All right,
Crisp.
It's like a theater experience.
Listen,
you know?
listen. When he turns it on, even the windows shake.
No. Well, that's the thing. I when you have a setup, and most people are okay with just watching on a big screen.
Mhm.
You know, why would you go to the theater?
That's
You know, and then when you go to the theater, you got people talking in the movie theater. You got a baby crying in the background. You got all that stuff going on. Like, and do I want to pay $15 per person where I can rent the movie for $3.99 and the whole family's watching it?
That's why I go to private theaters. I don't have those.
Well, listen, not everybody's rich like you.
No,
You know, nobody has
I
that
don't
good
mean like
life.
privately reserved theaters. I mean privately owned, not like like AMC or Regal.
Mm.
I go to like more mom and pop theaters. And
I get you.
love them. They're
No, listen,
great. Their open bar is amazing.
I've always liked movies, and the fact that movies like this, like Spotlight that we're watching right now,
Yeah.
need to be seen more. Like we need to see more movies like that. More movies like this should be made.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have to be super blockbuster. Like, we saw this is a 2-hour movie.
It was 2 hours?
Yeah, this was 2 hours. It doesn't have to also be a 10-piece miniseries.
No, it really doesn't.
You know, that was enough time to bring everything out.
Yeah.
Was the acting, was the story, was everything. It perfectly fit in. This was a great movie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the rating is, and I'm sure the rating is pretty high.
It should be.
I know. I need to look. I need to find out if this movie was nominated for an award.
It should have been.
Because this is why movies like this is why people would watch the Academy Awards.
Yes. Which now has become watered down as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Was Spotlight nominated for an Oscar? Best Picture. Look at
Best
this.
Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, Best Film Editing, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
Wow.
There you go. So,
But they didn't win any?
Did they not?
Oh wait, did they win those awards? They won those awards, is what I'm understanding.
Well, we're gonna have to go back and look at it at some point. You know, well, it was nominated. At least it was nominated for a couple.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Received
There we
6
go.
nominations.
2. Okay, they won 2
okay.
awards.
One of them was Best Picture.
Did it win with Best Picture? Okay.
hmm
I wonder what the other one was. Yeah, but one Best Picture. Okay, but it makes sense that he won Best Picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just Oscar bait. Whatever. I liked it. Whatever it was.
Great.
Okay. Anyway, thing is, these movies like this should definitely be recognized. You know,
Yeah.
2015. That's when this movie came out. Anyway, I love this movie, guys. I hope you guys enjoy watching it with us. You know, sorry to be. Hopefully, it sounded like we rambling on. It was just so much to talk about.
Yes.
Because of movies like this and
It's a
this
thinker.
movie, and it is a thinker. And as a person who likes cinema, who likes movies, you know, it's one of those movies that you appreciate it. You appreciate it for the acting. You appreciate it for the writing.
Yep.
You appreciate it for the simplicity of what this movie was. This could not have been a big budget movie. There's no way this is a big budget movie.
Progression.
You know,
it's setup. It's progression. It's
and the passion behind the acting itself. Like everybody was like, you felt what they were feeling.
Yeah,
You know, even the victims.
game. Yeah.
So, excellent movie. I'm glad we saw this movie. I'm glad you saw this movie. This is my second time watching it. I saw it way back when. I knew about it, like the story is up, but I forgotten some of the pieces. Like I totally forgot. Well, I forgot. I probably wasn't even paying attention to realize that my character buried the story. You know, that's how long it's been. So I didn't remember any of that. But it's good to watch this movie again. I hope you guys enjoy this movie. For those of you who did watch it, guys, what do you think about this movie? If you like this movie, or if you have not seen this movie, you know, leave it in the comments. Highly recommend it. You got to check this movie out for sure. If you have not seen it, if you've seen it, what are your thoughts about this movie? About the story behind it? You know, what made this movie what it is? You know, the scandal that was broken back in Boston. You know, very sad stuff, but story that needed to be in the spotlight. To you know, no pun intended.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, again, leave your comments in the comments, and we would like to hear what you guys say about this particular movie. If you like what we're doing, guys, please subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, hit the like button, and smash, or as they say, smash that like button. You know,
Punch it. Destroy your screen.
This will be on our Patreon, unedited. Our version of it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, a lot of it goes quiet. You know,
Yeah,
we didn't really react as much.
Thinking.
We were not like screaming and yelling. It was just, you know, there was so much to absorb.
Yeah.
But we'd like to definitely see what you have to say and think about what you have to say about this, and watch our unedited version if you'd like to. This will be on our Patreon for you can get that for at least $1 a month. We also have a merchandise store where you can buy some of our merch. The link is in the description. I keep saying description to the link. The link is in the description, guys. Guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We are Iron Knights. I am Ray.
I am Julian.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon. Take care.